Hello and welcome everybody back to the Dumbass class with me, the Dyslexic Gamer, as we carry on our tabletop RPG night with some more Warhammer Fantasy 2nd edition, where we are playing Mordheim, City of the Damned, the City of Nuln. So, big apologies, I muted the stream, or myself, about an hour in last time, so anyone who is still watching this terrible stream that I'm doing, quick recap. So, after Irelia and Casper shot the deer, they went, yes, we're going back to there. They took it back to the local lord's manor, where they ate it. They were then informed that they can't do that because it's poaching. That Casper soon realised, oh yeah, poaching does exist. So, after that little incident was put to rest, Humperdinck had a word with Liliara. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong screen, which is why I'm struggling with names. Liliara and Casper about the poaching incident. Humperdinck then asked Casper what he was lying about to his friend Gale. Casper came clean and told him about the curse that is inflicting him. And Humperdinck accepted that Casper still acts like a human. He hasn't done anything bad, so he'll give him a chance. But he did inform him, if anything bad does happen, he will sell his ass down the river. After that, the group left Lord Gale's, and they got underway, back onto the boat, and were setting off downriver. There was an incident with the cook being extremely harsh to one of the servant girls, or the peasant girls, the hirelings, and Blackhand stepped in and resolved the issue, kind of, helping the girl out and sorting the issue
Let's
out.
just say I enforce my authority.
And put the chef in his place. After that, a meal was had, but...
Wait, for the record, I thought it was our guest.
No, that was the chef. No, that was the chef.
Oh, did I threaten the chef?
Yes.
Have you
Yes.
made sure that you have unmuted yourself this time?
Yes, I'm looking at OBS right now.
Okay.
Sure.
I thought I was threatening my guest to give up the lamp.
No, that was the cook.
Why are you saying, are you sure? Are you just fucking with me?
No, legit.
Oh, okay.
I have your stream open and you're coming out find this.
No, that's what I was just like, are you sure? Are you positive? I'm like, hang on. Is there a technical error? Everything looks fine. What's going on? What? Bastard.
I did mute everyone just to make sure.
So far everything is good.
Okay, cool. So, after that, the cook was making some meal that wasn't perfect for Lord Humperdinck. So, it was fed to a couple of the hirelings, Alex and Corey. So I had to look off screen because that's where his token is. Early in the morning, Aurelia woke up nice and early. Sorry, Liliara. Oh, hang on. Why am I saying Liliara? Who the fuck is
You're
Liliara?
thinking of my new character who is not Liliala, it's Liliana. And you're confusing her with Aurelia.
Characters combined.
Jesus Christ. Again.
The meta universe splits.
Aurelia. She woke up nice and early, and as the sun began to rise, she was on deck with a couple of the mercenaries and a couple of the sailors. And the captain, of course. But Corey was not feeling very well, throwing up over the side, and before too long cried out about his guts burning before he exploded, spraying gore everywhere. Aurelia was able to leap backwards in time to avoid the gore spraying on her, but there is a big hole in the ship. The other hireling who ate that same meal is Alex. Now, the rest of the group, well, firstly on deck, actually. As the explosion happens, Humperdinck is taken aback. He came out hearing the kerfuffle and the noise. Seeing the explosion is in shock. Whereas the captain, Captain Dapper, and his men seem to have gone through a war before. They know what happens when an explosion happens aboard a deck. He cries out to his sailors to get the oh fuck, I can't remember what it's called now, the tarp patch. And on deck, there is just a absolute mass of action, of people pulling out rods and cloth being pulled out that has a waxy, oily appearance. All of you downstairs, you were woken up by an explosion, basically, a boom. You either fall, jump, leap, or tumble out of your beds or hammocks, as this is an extremely shocking event. You would have just enough time to see Alex on the floor, clutching his stomach, before no. Slash R.
Anticipation builds.
The drum plays.
You hear a noise. Alex deflates visibly, and you are all engulfed.
Did he just fart?
God, gas! No, I'm in the pink gas.
The gas erupts from his ass, firing out, and you actually see his skin deflate visibly. He almost turns into a husk as the air leaves him. For those of you who are in the green area, this is very, very bad. Can you, which is Magness, Ragnar, and Blackhand, you're out. You're not in there. So just Ragnar and Magness. Ragnar, you do get a +10 to your toughness test. Everyone else, please roll me willpower with a -10.
Oh my god, Magnus is gonna have a death by fourth cloud.
So me and Magnus rolled
I
toughness.
don't have to roll willpower, right?
You do have to roll willpower, yes. Magnus, your toughness, but you will have to roll. You will have to roll willpower afterwards.
Oh!
So, Magnus and
Fuck you, Nuffle.
you can use a fate point, a fortune point, to re-roll any of these if you wish. Magnus and Ragnar.
Yeah. I'll stay with that. I'm not going fortunate.
Can you please roll me a 1d10 each? You take that as damage as you start throwing up and your eyes begin to bleed.
Ooh,
1d1?
bleed.
1d10, it is reduced by your toughness, but not your armor. For pretty much all of you, I will allow light armor to be worn whilst sleeping and still recover your fortune point. Heavy armor is only medium, and heavy armor is every now and then. On this boat, it would not apply, so you need to remove medium and heavy armor. When you're on the road in really dangerous situations, I'm kinda. But so you're all in light armor or clothing. So Magnus 4 damage, Ragnar 3. I don't think you actually take any damage from that. Your toughness probably covers you.
Yeah, I've got 5 toughness bonus, so I'm all good.
So you still are throwing up. There is blood in your vomit. You feel as if every time you breathe, your skin is being burnt away. It is an awful feeling. Can everyone, including you two, roll me a willpower with a -10?
So, everyone in the pink sphere now?
Yes. And also Magnus and Ragnar.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so this is this first one is Carla, which she
Claire
fails.
failed.
You know
My
what?
counter fails.
She's gonna fade that.
Would
But Claire,
Jim,
Would
shut up!
would resistance to magic or stout-hearted add to this or no?
I will give you resistance to magic.
So Carla passes her test. And now Magnus, which I fucked up and I was accidentally rolling with Carla's stats on the Magnus. I'm sorry, I'm not used to juggling sheets. Yeah, no, Magnus is losing his shit.
Would the willpower still have been the same for the what's Magnus's willpower?
No. Magnus's willpower is 32.
Okay, then it's still a fail, I think.
It would still be a fail. I
No, that's
think
fine.
it would be slightly worse fail. If that makes any difference.
No. It's if you fail, you throw up blood and cry blood. It's not good. Well, I was worried that a 1d10, you know, if it lands on like a 7, 8, 9 or 10, that's like really bad. It's just Nuffle decided, yeah, it's not so bad.
I mean, a 7, 8, 9, or 10 isn't even that bad for Ragnar anyway.
Ah, so the only one that we would be missing is Casper. And actually, I should have said that Casper doesn't need to do it, so it's fine.
He's
So-
already dead inside.
Pretty much this. Ooh, that's. Ooh, okay. So I'll do them as the closest two. So then I've got another 3 to go. Massive fail. Massive fail. Massive fail. Okay. So, as you breathe in shock and in just horror at watching the hireling that you spoke to just yesterday, Alex, and have spoke to a couple of times before actually, shrivels into a husk, and this disgusting, rotten, sweet odour appears from his anus. For those of you who fail, actually, damn it, yeah, okay. So for those of you who fail, you lose yourselves. You begin to get hot under the collar. You begin to sweat, and touching yourselves becomes so much more vibrant. The feel, you begin touching your skin, and that sensation of your hand rustling the hairs on your arms is, oh, it's so good. It feels so incredibly good. For those of you who fail, enjoy starting to come under ecstasy. You begin touching stuff, feeling stuff, touching yourselves, feeling yourselves. It's only going to get worse.
Can I get it by rubbing my cheek on my blunderbuss?
Sure. Yeah, the cold steel against your warm flesh is just, it creates a stimulation that just is like shots of pleasure running down your spine as you begin to feel pins and needles creep down your back ever so slowly. For those of you who succeeded, so Carla, is it just Carla? I think it is just Carla at the moment.
Technically, there's a last name, but she's not really using it.
Okay, so Carla, Tom, and Noelle. You all see everyone start to sweat. Why can't I click on Noelle? I'll sort that in a minute. Start to sweat. Start to, like, just look like they're in ecstasy, as if they're really enjoying whatever is going on. What would you do? Carla, just gonna let this ecstasy carry on. You know.
Sorry, what? Did Discord do a stupid again?
Probably.
So you can see everyone getting very horny and very rowdy and touching themselves and each other. What do you do?
Is run on top of the deck viable option? And oh my god, the boat briefly disintegrated.
Yes, it is indeed possible. You can flee if you wish.
Yeah, Carla's gonna flee.
Oh, damn it, I can't click on any of my tokens because they're all behind the gas. Sure,
And
so
she is, at the moment she steps in, she is gonna be coughing, there's probably tears because gas, and she's gonna gas. Sigmar's beard, what did he eat?
Sorry, I'm late.
Hey.
hey, Geddy. So, Geddy, as you have arrived, I'll do a very quick recap. You have just seen Alex, the hireling last time, who ate the meal meant for Humperdinck, but wasn't quite perfect enough, release a noxious odour from his rectum and shrivel up into a husk. The odour has caused Ragnar and Magness to fall to the floor vomiting. You can see blood in their vomit and blood running down down their cheeks.
Okay.
The other people in the gas have began touching themselves, looking very, very pleased and happy and in almost ecstasy. Your friend Blackhand has begun taking his blunderbuss and running the cold metal of the rim onto his cheek.
I need to make sure I got something to protect against this, otherwise I
You
might
are
be...
not affected.
Okay.
As the gas hits everyone and you can see people succumbing and people doing odd things, nothing affects you. Claire and Tom and Noelle have all ran out onto the top deck.
Okay. One second while I get my character sheet back up. Okay. I am going to try and grab Albe, or no, Blackhand.
No.
Who else is there?
Ragnar's there as well.
Yeah. Right. Blackhand, Ragnar,
Magnus as well?
Magnus. Alex is dead.
Yeah, Alex is dead. There are some other hirelings down there.
Well, I gotta get these two out first, and then I'll come back down for them if I'm still unaffected.
Sure, yep. You could probably quite easily grab two of them and start directing them. Blackhand, as Casper grabs hold of your shoulder, you don't want to fight what he's doing. In fact, him touching you, oh, that's so good. That's just so unexpected, and it gives shivers down your arms, and your hairs begin to stand up. Much the same for Magnus when you grab hold of him. Someone else touching you is just, oh.
Quick note: the dwarves aren't my kink, so don't try anything.
I'm too busy with my blunderbuss.
Right when I was taking a sip, guys.
Sorry. Oh, great. Okay, I can see what they're doing.
I don't want to.
Shit. Oh god. Okay. Right. Do I get them out?
Yep, sure. You can pull them out. They won't fight you. Currently, they're just enjoying the sensation too much and the thrill of being touched, and so yep, they won't stop you.
Okay. After getting them out, yeah, try and grab these three that are about to have happy fun times.
Okay, so you are able to pull out. So do you pulled out? Oh, god damn it! Problem with having those effects at the top. You pull Magness out. You pull. So you pull Black Hand out. You pull Magness out. You go back to get Ragnar and help him out. When you go back to get the other three, they are completely naked. They have stripped down and they are just fondling each other and playing with each other, and it is quite the scene.
I'm glad I fortuned that willpower check.
As Tom comes running up, Casper, you would have probably... No, you wouldn't see this. So as Claire and Noelle and Tom come up and start breathing fresh air, Claire, there's blood everywhere. Damn it! Carla, there's blood everywhere.
Claire.
Tom, not really seeing the blood and like coughing, and he walks over to the side to almost throw up, it looks as if, and he slips on the blood. Tom is now dangling, holding on, trying not to fall down into the ship again.
Ah, shit, okay.
He would, you can see the hole, you can see the hole on the map. He wouldn't fall back into the room, but he is now there like, help! Sigma! What the... Where's all the blood?
What in the seven hells is going on out there?
I would like to know myself. We were just sitting there, and then Alex, he had gases, and the other two started puking blood, and then this happened.
I would yell to Aurelia, grab... Is it Sam or Tom?
Tom.
Tom. Grab Tom, I'm going in for the rest of them. Don't come down here.
I don't think I want to grab anyone. Tom was affected, right?
No, Tom was one of the ones who came out with Noelle and Carla.
It says Sam on his nameplate.
Oh, is it Sam? I'm zoomed out so much it goes... Oh, for fuck's sake, it is Sam. If you zoom out too much, the words kind of blend together a bit. Sorry, so yeah, it's Sam.
Okay.
Yeah, we should probably help him out of that hole.
Yeah.
So, Casper, you run back down. You can see that Derwin, for those listening to the stream, is a noble-ish bloke who appeared to blackmail his way onto the ship. He's a bit of an asshole, hasn't exactly been the most beloved character in the world, but he, hearing all the commotion, has exited his cabin and has peered in, and he can see the hirelings just... He doesn't see the smoke, he doesn't see the gas or anything. He can smell that there's something clearly wrong coming from there. There's a stank coming from that room. But he just sees three hirelings just going at it, just sweaty bodies colliding and rubbing up against each other. And he just has none of it. He's just, nope. Back into his cabin. Would he leave? No, he stays in the cabin.
You wanna get your channel adult flagged?
I'm already an adult channel. I just don't, not. You know, if you're going to start winging your wang around and rubbing up against people, it's like, if you really want.
Albie, please don't.
I'm only rubbing my cheek on the blunderbuss.
Fair enough.
No, is that which cheek?
Yeah, I was about to ask.
The cheek of my face.
Next thing you know, he's gonna take the gunpowder and he's gonna start snorting the gunpowder.
Oh,
Screaming, oh yes, as he does it.
it's rather fiery.
Screaming, oh yes, it burns so good.
So with Sam crying out for help, Casper, it's up to you. If you want to pull them out of there, you can, by all means. They won't resist, but it's going to be odd and weird, but you can. If you guys want to save Sam, you can just pull him up. You will get blood on your clothes.
Yeah, Riley doesn't mind the blood, so she's just gonna try to pull him up.
Livia will help.
She will pull, however, her mask and make sure none of the blood touches her skin.
Would be best.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. You can quickly take some precautions and cover your skin from the blood, and you hoik him back up, and he's kind of... He thanks you, but you can see he's still kind of like retching and kind of a bit in shock about what happened. Where's this blood? Where the fuck did the hole come from? There are a lot of questions that his simple little mind just can't handle, so he kind of goes over to where there is no blood, there is no gore.
Yeah, I think we all feel that way.
As does Noelle.
Actually, now that there's like Carla had a moment to herself, she probably looks at the deck. Why is there blood smeared on the deck?
Well, Corey blew up.
What do you mean you blow up? People don't just blow up.
People don't just fart out sex gas either.
Well, yeah.
Next question. How long
What
will
is
I
happening?
how long will I be worshipping my blunderbuss?
So for the moment, you're outside, you're getting fresh air. The sensation is still with you, but it's not getting any more intense. You're not... So where the hirelings downstairs have just escalated things, you're kind of on the level. You're quite happy just rubbing the cold steel against your warm cheek, and the sweat on your brow is starting to disappear in the cool morning air, and you're cooling down rather than what they're doing down there, which is heating up. So Casper, did you want to get grab them and pull them out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Try to at least.
There's no resistance. So Ryan, Nick, he goes on the blood, and Laura, I believe that's her name.
Lorian?
Lorian. They all come upstairs, butt naked, sweaty as all hell, touching each other and rubbing themselves up and down on each other. I need to do a...
I'm gonna stand on the stairs, just trying to keep in the shade as much as I can.
Nick comes upstairs all sweaty, and he slips and falls. And he falls off the side. He is clinging on with one hand, but at the same time he's rubbing himself up and down on the wood of the ship.
You go get some splinters.
You do hear him going, ah!
I have a feeling that splinters are the least of this guy's problems right now.
Yeah. I don't know whether to poke him off for degeneracy or just help him up.
Don't help him up. Damn
Just
it.
mercy kill him. It's fine. I'm not gonna object.
His willpower is good enough. He holds on. He doesn't just let go.
Okay, I'm gonna help him up. I don't
Sure.
care about lying in the blood to pick him up or whatever.
Sure, you pick him up, hoist him up, and he has splinters all over his chest and his body. It is bleeding, and it doesn't... it looks like someone who's just had their naked body run over a load of broken and splintery wood. It doesn't look pretty, but he seems to still rub his chest, and like push the splinters in a little bit more, and starts to pull them out, and it's extremely bizarre situation to be in, and Humperdinck himself is just stood up on deck. What? He blew... What?
I'm quickly going to shout who else is down there, because...
Why are they naked? What?
Not important right now, just keep them away from each other.
Can I
Don't
go...
touch them. They're kind of touchy-feely.
mercenaries, take them to the... Why is there a hole in my bloody ship? Well,
I just said quarry blew up.
We are good. I'm just gonna look Humperdinck, Humperdinck, didn't he? We're gonna have to make amendments to our contract.
What the bloody hell is going on? Like, Humperdinck is basically in his boxers, with a pistol in hand. Like, he hasn't dressed or anything. He had an explosion and came running out. And But I believe I mentioned last time, this is where you see that Humperdinck, it really isn't that fat. He's a big, large rugby player type.
Yeah.
He does have a gut on him, but nothing to the extent of what he makes out. And as you say, who else is downstairs, the captain quickly looks around and... Well, the cook and Derwin. And wherever Alex is.
Don't know about Alex, but I'll try and get the other two.
Alex is the source of this thing.
Alex, I actually liked him. God damn it.
What do you mean he was the source of this?
He literally farted and then this happened.
From a fart? What?
Yeah, exactly. What were you feeding? What are you feeding your people?
He had like Humperdinck is just like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Casper, as you knock on the door downstairs, you see that Derwin is kind of held up in his cabin. There's a look of shock on his face, like, we under attack? What's going on with the naked people?
I don't know, but right now I'm going to try and get you to safety. The only way up is through this, isn't it?
No, there is a staircase that leads up and around. You don't have to go through the sleeping quarters to get there. So he like nods and is it safe on there? I'll come with you, and you can lead him out onto the deck. The deck.
And I'll try and go back for the cook. There's a wall here.
Another door. I should have put so much more stuff on the GM layer. Putting it on the player layer was such a bad move. I feel like we should
just leave the cook to stew in his own fucking creation, because you know it's his fault.
I know it is, but that's player knowledge. Casper doesn't.
I know.
Plus, we can stew him if it comes to it now.
That's what the metagamer in me wants to do.
So Casper,
Yeah, no, that's how you get zombies.
as you knock on the door, you begin banging. You can hear someone rustling around. You can hear pots and pans being moved. You can hear someone, leave me, I must cook perfection. You open the door quickly to try and, you need to get out of here now. As you open the door, the chef in front of you does not appear like the man you saw before throughout your travels. He's a bit of a recluse and likes to stay in his kitchen in the galley. He seems to cook okay food for you, but Humperdinck always seems to be happy. He once had long black hair, but now you can see that he has ripped out tufts of hair, just pulled them straight out. And as you open the door, and you can see him whisking something in a bowl with a whisk. He's whisking, and it's not perfect! He rips out more hair and just throws it on the floor. It must be perfect! It cannot be anything less! Chucks his bowls down, turns to you. His eyes are green. His face is gaunt, and as he looks at you, he screams, "Get out!" as his tongue licks out. Please roll me willpower.
Okay.
In fact, I'll give you a +10 because of what you are.
Okay. I needed that
success.
plus 10.
You do not gain any insanity as this mortal's tongue licks out. It comes at least below his chin, and you see what could possibly be 1,000 small mouths with tiny teeth and tiny tongues, all licking out, all screaming, "God's tongue! God's tongue! God's tongue!" Ah! His tongue licks back in. What do you do?
I'm going to grab him and cast sleep.
Sure.
No time for channeling, I don't think.
Can I see him through the hole?
Would you be able to?
You,
Probably
from where
if you
you
let
are,
us.
you could definitely hear all of this. I don't think you'd be able to see his head. You'd be able to see his torso go, sort of like stomach going down to legs, and I don't know if you would be able to see his head.
Okay.
Okay. He needs a willpower test.
So, I know that he fails that by 2 degrees. So, he just falls, collapses to the floor, asleep. But his
Okay.
tongue does not. His tongue, as he falls to the floor, his mouth left open and agape, his tongue just whips round like a serpent, crying out, "God's tongue! Slash! Perfection!"
I'm a bop him. I'm
Sure.
a bop him up until he can no longer whip his tongue around.
He whips his tongue back and forth.
Okay. So I'll give you an option, because he's on the floor helpless, his tongue is whipping round. You can kick him in the bottom of the chin and just hope that he bites his tongue off. Or you can cave his skull in and make sure that he never breathes again.
Am I awake? I mean, am I back to my senses?
Not really. Not enough time has passed. We're talking, maybe 5-10 minutes of Casper just running up, bringing up people. And everyone who he's bringing up is being compliant. It's not like he's having to struggle.
Yeah. Till now.
Yeah, until now.
Oh shit, what was Homer fucking saying about corruption? Yeah, alright, I'm not hitting in the chin, I'm just trying to keep his skull in like I did those beastmen. Or did to that beastman I put to sleep.
Sure. So you basically just you've got a staff, don't you?
Yeah.
So you just bring your staff up and just smash, 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 just trying to just kill this whatever the fuck has taken over this person, with a few easy to hit strikes. Your staff goes through his skull in a nice circular hole, and his body stops breathing. The tongue, for us, at least another combat turn or two. Well, a combat turn, it still moves, but then it starts to grow slower and weaker before, after you stand there for, let's say, 3 to 4 combat turns, you watch it stop moving and then shrivel up. But yet, the little mouths don't disappear. They shrivel up and the tongue goes back to its normal size. But the little mouths and teeth and tongues are still there. They're a disgusting display.
Are there any jars or anything in here?
Yes.
Kitchen?
Yes, there would be. If you open up some of the cupboards, you would see that there are some jars of honey, some jars that are empty, some jars of pickles and different foodstuffs.
Okay. Real quick, taking the dagger and cutting the tongue out and putting it in one of the jars. Just empty the contents, put it in the jar, and put it in pocket or a bag just to hide it on my person.
Sure. Yep, you can do that.
This hole, does it lead outside?
Yes.
Okay.
So, to be more precise, this is the hole leading down into the substructure, but there is a hole that goes straight up, so you can see sunlight. Well, it's early morning. It was like dawn when this all happened. So it's just, there's enough light that you can see, but it's not direct sunlight coming through.
Okay.
Red is gonna shout from up top at Casper. And she's just gonna say, "Hey, Casper! Pardon my Bretonian, but what the fuck is going on down there?"
Slight incident. I'm gonna bring him up, and I'll just slump Jay's body over my shoulder and bring it up.
You deposit
Yeah.
it.
Seems like Alex and who was the other one?
Alex and Corey.
Alex and Corey weren't the only ones that were affected by something. Bad rations, I think.
What the?
But we all ate the food, right? Does that mean this is gonna happen to us too?
Don't worry, if it does, I give you a quick death like this guy.
Oh, thanks. That's very helpful.
You notice that Derwin he's moved all the way around the group trying to peer in at what's been going on, what's happening. For those of you on deck, he was looking at the hole and all the blood and looking around, and a couple of the hirelings, he even, what's going on? What happened? He sees the naked hirelings at the front of the deck being like boarded off by the mercenaries. I'm guessing that there would be a lot of blood. You just cut out someone's tongue, so even though his heart would have, his head was caved in, and well, no, the heart beats for I think it's like a minute after, like slowly drumming down. So there would be blood around his mouth at the very least. And now, why do you cut his tongue out?
I didn't. He bit down on it when he attacked me. He was crazed and feral.
Now, Humperdinck, what is all this going on about? And what's this hole in the blood? And Derwin, just get out the way. So the chef did something. How? What? Humperdinck goes a little white. Yes, well, Captain, see to repairs, make sure that the ship is seaworthy. We don't have long to Nullen. I'd hate to have to go back, and... Are you there, Captain? I'll get the men right on it, and you see the sailors go about and start patching up the holes and checking the damage. They run, just to be safe, a big tarp that's covered in oil and wax underneath the ship. It's basically like a large sail that goes underneath the ship that would block off any holes, at least slowing down any leaks.
Okay.
This is all happening in the background. There's movement going on. The hirelings who were not affected are just kind of in shock, just have been pulled off to one side and are just talking to each other like, I don't know how this happened. And, yeah, I know, everything was fine. Alex, did you see him? For those of you who are player characters who were affected, so I believe Ragnar, Blackhand, and Magness, wherever you are, the effects have worn off by now. About 10 minutes have passed between everything happening. you're no longer feeling under the effects. You don't want to touch yourselves or rub yourselves anymore. You do, however, know that something happened. You are aware as if you'd been drugged and the drug had worn off, like laughing gas or some such. You still have that cognizance. I know I was doing odd shit. What the fuck? So you are all back with it again.
Oh god.
The other three at the top, they're still kind of touching each other, but it's got less. They're touching the wood now and not so much themselves.
Can I roll academic knowledge, magic, or science? Make sense of any of that?
You can give me a magical sense test. And in fact, Casper, you can give me one as well.
Academic knowledge. Oh no, magical sense. Magical sense.
Livia, you can blatantly tell that a spell has gone off downstairs. It's odd. You have no idea the school of magic or what. It's dissipating now that some time has passed, but you can still see that a magical effect did go off down there. It's very sharp and pointy, and it doesn't look melded by a caster's hand. It looks almost natural in the way that it's formed, and it's irregular and not smooth, and it's probably the first time you've seen a spell's dissipation like this before. However, you have had this sense before once when you fought against the the Chaos Carnival. You sensed a feeling similar to this, but it wasn't a magical effect. It was just a feeling of raw magic, of unstable, and you get the very same feeling as you look at the dissipating magic trail from down below.
Where do I sense it? In the cabin or
In the cabin, you sense it in the cabin more. You would get the sense that the same effect happened on deck as well, but just that's very, very faintly there. That you gather from how it's a lot stronger and more defined downstairs, that you're like, okay, no, that's clearly odd and weird, and I'm pretty sure the same thing happened there. Like 70% sure. Casper, you're just kind of overcome with the shocking stuff that you've seen and the people that you had to touch. You're kind of like looking at your hands going, should I wash these? That's,
Reddit would go down and she's gonna inspect the cook. Just look at him.
The cook is, if you mean down from your upper deck.
Yeah, I
okay.
mean down from, yeah, from
Sure.
here.
Olivia, magical lore that you could roll, probably academic magic. I'd probably say that there's at least a -10.
Oh, then I got a 43% chance.
And if you want to look at the cook, you can roll perception.
Could I do that?
Yep, anyone can do that. You can also do that, Casper, with... well, actually, you didn't get the same magical... You could roll magical lore to see if you can...
Yeah, I'm fating that.
Good use of fate. To see if you can get an idea of what happened if it was magical, but I'd probably say you'd need a -20, because you don't have the same...
No problem. So -20 for the academic
Yeah.
knowledge magic.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, we'll do Casper first because it's a little bit more difficult. So, Casper, you're not entirely sure, but you know those were mortals. They weren't magically infused. So, perhaps a spell, perhaps a curse, or with the violent effect and the raging sex orgy, you definitely think it's something dark. You're not entirely sure what. Although you're definitely, you know, magic was used from just the knowledge that you have. People don't just explode like that. But you don't know that it's what Livia knows. Livia, your mentor spoke to you about a natural occurring stone in the old world. He told you it is very, very dangerous and you should never play with it. It is something that if you ever come in contact with, you should treat with the utmost caution, as if it is the most dangerous animal you have ever encountered. And this is weird stone. He wouldn't have been able to show you any of it as an example. He may have shown you pictures in a book. But he would tell you that it's raw magic. It has a almost unlimited power supply, but it, even to the elven, is impossible to wield safely. They have still not found any techniques to use it safely, and only the humans are bollocks, I forgot the word now. Oh,
Cool.
stupid enough. Let's just say stupid enough. Humans are the only ones dumb enough to really play with it. And try to do
Well,
good things.
There is this other race
They don't know
that
about
we
that.
do not talk about and does not exist.
Those are fairy tales. They don't exist, clearly.
I'm sure dwarves would have something to say about that.
Yeah. Dwarfs have a few things to say about that, but
So, you know from what your master told you, and how you know innately that every type of wind of magic has a... When it's used, it has the appearance. You know, you can tell that a spellcaster has melded the winds of magic into a purpose. Whereas this is a more natural, raw... You're nearly 100% certain that this is a warpstone phenomena, but you have no idea how, really.
I'll turn to Humperdinck and tell him that this was magic.
Humperdinck's face has gone a little whiter. And he's kind of looking at the corpse, and he looks at you. He kind of gives you a knowledgeable, like, wince. It would probably be the only way I could describe it, as he kind of like, well, we should do something with the body. Maybe wrap him in cloth, or get the blood cleaned up. We can't have this mess here. And is it safe to go down deck?
I'll go check if the thing is gone.
The smell is still down there, Casper. You can smell the odour. Given another half an hour, the smell is gone completely. And you feel it's safe that no, people can come back down.
Can I bring Alex's wrinkled body up to?
Yes, you can.
You grab this piece of cloth that was once named Alex.
Yeah.
For the moment, they are... oh, sorry. Apologies. I skipped a few things. So, you can go down, but as you examine the corpse, you look... So, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, everyone except from Casper gets a good look at the corpse. You can tell that the tongue has been cut out. As you look around his person, he doesn't have anything particularly strange on him. You can see that he has been pulling tufts of hair out. He's bleeding all around his scalp, and it just looks horrible, nasty and painful. As you look on the rest of his body, you don't really see anything. There's nothing particularly strange there, but then you look at his gloves, and you see that there are small, tiny little burn holes in his gloves, and you remove the gloves, and you can see small barbs on his fingers, small thorn barbs that poke through the skin.
I'm gonna go downstairs and check out the kitchen real quick, just before everyone starts piling down when they've given the all clear.
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yep, you can go down there. As the smell is, you're kind of like, no, it still smells down here. You kind of wander off into the galley. So this is 20 minutes before you told everyone it's safe. Everyone else can roll perception on the other corpse that has been delivered, the desiccated husk that was Alex. As Casper goes through the kitchen.
Perception?
Give me a perception, and then let's have a look.
Oh, damn.
Can you also give me, I believe it's here, search? Yes, can you give me a search test? It's the third one from your basic talents, skills.
Yeah. Oh, god damn it.
Okay, so as you look round, you begin moving things, and it seems like a normal galley. You go through, and you can see that most of the cupboards are easily accessible. You can open them, and okay, that's fine. That's fine. One of the cupboards is locked. Heavily locked. I mean, this is probably a master-crafted lock. There's no way of you being able to pick it unless you are a master-crafted... unless you are like an expert thief. But everything else seems fine. There's a couple of baskets of like cabbages and potatoes and things. Would you move them, like shifting them around to see if there's anything?
Yeah, main thing Casper would be looking for is books. He doesn't know about the Warpstone, so books or any tomes or say an odd recipe book.
There's no odd recipe books, but as you move the baskets round, you do see that there is a hole in the wall. Now, I made a mistake with the cargo, so I moved some things around. The cargo is up against both walls, to the galley, to the spare bedroom, and there's a doorway that lets you pass through. As you move the potatoes and cabbages out the way, and you see there's a hole, and you crouch down and you look, and this fucker has made a tunnel all the way through the cargo, leading somewhere. You're not sure where it is. It's somewhere underneath the middle of the cargo. Do you venture down the hole?
I'm gonna pull my dagger out just in case after the tongue fiasco, and
Just in case.
yeah, I'll venture in.
You venture in, crawling along. You know, it's a couple of meters before you come to an area that seems to be cleared out. All the crates have been pushed to one side to the clear room, and as you look down, you can see that there's clearly a false floor in here. Well, you put your knife round the catch and pop it and lift it up, and inside you see 3 small chests. Very well made metal chests, clearly of excellent make. Just the chests have got filigree and inscriptions on them and all sorts of finery and luxuries, but one of them does not have any gold or silver on. It is a dull metal, and as you look you can see that it is open.
Okay. The other two are locked.
The other two, as you like try and lift tops, they are clearly locked. But the duller metal one, you lift the lid and someone, probably the cook, has opened this lock.
Alright, I'll take a look inside.
As you lift up the lid of the small chest, is how these three are made out. Very, very heavy. Extremely. You're really surprised as you lift up and what the... You use your unnatural strength to easily open it, but you're still surprised. And as you flip the lid, you can see that there are two leather-bound purses in there, basically. One is clearly much tighter than the other, much smaller. The other one larger, and as it lays flat in the chest, you can see that there are several large items in the larger purse. You know, expert, but it looks like stones, like the irregular shapes of the lumps and bumps in the purse. You would gather that it's a stone or it's something of irregular size.
Okay. Could I...
You can give me a magical sense test.
Yeah, that's good. No fate points. Let's hope. Hey!
I genuinely feel... let me think about this, because how have I run it before in the campaign? You were very, very close. Livia, give me a magical sense. Like something in your mind, something along your, like the hairs on the back of your neck stand up for a second, and you're just like, wait, what? And you, yeah, I'll give you a magical sense. Okay, so Casper, as you look down, you are almost blinded by the magical light and just pure magical power that is burning its way out of this chest. It is raw, spiky, and green in colour. It jets out as if it is trying to escape, trying to expend its energy. Livia, as you're kind of 1 minute looking at the blood, looking at the corpses, and all of a sudden there's just this, your grave has been stepped on, and you look into the ether. You can just see below deck this a mass of green spiked energy just pulsating and, like I said with Casper, almost trying to escape. Casper, what do you do?
Which ones are coming out of the primarily? Both of them?
Because of the amount of magic there, it's clearly coming from both sources. Both of them contain this raw magical power.
Okay. I'm gonna pick up and try and take a peek in the small one.
Does it look similar to the spell in the cabin?
Yes, it's, you would definitely, so Livia, you know, from what your master told you of the brilliance of Warpstone, the raw magical power that is just out of this, it's just not of this world in a way of just how you can have mundane stuff, even magically infused items, and then Warpstone. It is there is on another level. The magic you were thinking like this, that could be Warpstone. I'm pretty sure that from what my master, once you see that light downstairs, you're like, holy fuck, that's what Warpstone looks like. Oh dear. So Casper, you pick up the smaller pouch and you open it. Right, I need to open up another book. Inside, as you peer in, you see a small bag with a glowing green powder in it. Yes, that's right.
Oh god. Warp snuff. Yay. Oh god. Okay.
Come on. Do a line, you know you want to. It's magic space coke. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead, lick it.
I do a line, do a
Sure.
kilo. Yeah, no, I'm getting a bad feeling from this. So...
What? But it's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this back in the box and close it up. As much as it pains me to, I'm gonna pull it away.
Cool. Okay. Can you give me a plus 30, a plus 30, is it toughness or willpower? A toughness. Oh no, hang on, no, that's what happens if you... we will go with... I love that it doesn't tell you... Oh no, yep, no, toughness test. So a plus 30 toughness test, please.
Okay.
Smelling a small amount on clothing. Or opening a bag up. I'd say that's...
Ah, shit. 75! Haha!
Okay, no ill effects. No ill effects.
Oh, thank God.
If you had done a dab, I would have sat here and laughed my ass off. I've already opened up the Skaven book to find out what happens. So you zip up the bag, put it back, close the very heavy chest, and you crawl and make your way back out. It's about this time when you come out of the kitchen, when you come out of the galley, that you'll like start sniffing around and the air is much clearer now. Given another 5 minutes would be when you tell everyone that it's safe.
It would have been even funnier this, because vampires react in a specific way to Warpstone.
Yeah, I saw that somewhere, so I was about to open up the vampire book to see if it says what happens there if they sniff it.
Is it in the... Ah, shit, which one was it?
It's in Night Stark Masters.
Yeah,
Is-
that's the one. See, I know where it is in the Skaven book, so I opened that one up first to get the chart. I knew I'd seen it somewhere, and
Oh my god.
You basically have to reroll all your weaknesses and blood gift.
I mean, that could be cool, but also, I don't want any mutations and shit. Not anymore, anyway. Before I turn vampire, probably.
so everyone has been informed that downstairs is safe. Derwin has seen the husk of Alex and is just... He's gone very, very quiet and kind of makes his way over to the side of the ship.
Yeah, Lydia will turn to Humperdinck and ask him to, ask him a question in private.
Yes, but of course, I will retire to my cabin until this has been resolved. If you wish to speak to me, there would be best.
And I will ask Aurelia to come along with me.
Fiona will follow.
Or if anyone else wants to join. We're probably free. Well,
Yeah.
Ragnar, you are back to normal. If you do want to move around.
Yeah, I'd probably try and join them.
Carla, would you want to have a bit more knowledge about what's been going on?
Yes, certainly would.
Sure. So I'll say that everyone kind of ventures down into Humperdinck's quarters. You all squeeze in.
Humperdinck's room seems spacious. Up until 50 people got inside of it.
You just turn up and just like, yo, Humpy, what's the going?
And
Please don't call him Humpy.
I'll make it simple.
Please.
Though. He's on his
Not
lounge.
after that incident.
He's sprawled out, like waving. Like actually, he's gone in and put on a dressing gown, as his nipples were probably quite hard in this cold morning air.
Oh, okay.
But he's now covered himself. He still has his pistol on his lap.
Okay, so once everyone has settled in, Livia will ask in a way that is pretty much unlike her, because so far she's been pretty quiet and timid. But right now she's pretty fucking angry and shocked. She will ask Humperdinck, why the fuck is there warpstone in the hold?
There's what?
He looks a little shocked.
Casper's gonna go. What was that?
So how
Bloodstone?
exactly do you know of that? His voice does inflect that little higher tone.
Oh god.
You do realize whatever it is she's talking about, she's a member of the Mage's apprentices of the Azrael, right? She is bound to know things.
Wait.
Livia will say, I sensed it. I sensed it when I sensed traces of it when the guy exploded, Corey. And also in the cabin. And I sensed a lot more of the stuff in the hold. So I think you have some explaining to do.
Is
He's in shock. He can't speak right now. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Kind of sad that Albie isn't here. We
Oh.
could use that so good to negotiate more money.
Sorry about that. I just had a
Double check the stream.
massive coughing
Just in
fit.
case.
And I managed to mute myself and unmute myself. I'm still dying.
Hey.
Oh, right. Now that I've wiped a tear away from my eye. So, Humperdinck looks at you and, well, technically, I don't have to explain myself to anyone. But I will give you that strange events have happened, and I did ask you to keep an eye on the crew and such.
A guy literally farted and deflated, and that launched people into an orgy right now. Weird. Look, I've seen what I've seen in my travels. That's weird. This isn't weird. Weird doesn't begin to describe this.
Well, So, I have a writ that has allowed me to transport a very dangerous item, this weird stone, from the Countess of Nullen. I have the right to do it. I took precautions, so, and it is for her, her court wizard, from the College of Wizardry. You know, he seems like a little. I have a writ for this. I've done nothing wrong. It's.
Can I see this writ?
I'm gonna ask, did the cook have a writ to use it?
Oh no, no one knows
I would have
about
pulled out
it.
his tongue.
Ah! What?
Look at it carefully.
He kind of gathers himself for a moment, and the writ is well. He goes over to his desk, and taking the tongue in the jar, kind of is quite shocked, and goes over to his desk and opens it, ruffles through a load of papers, before finally coming to a writ of merchant transport and hands it to you, Carla.
I totally did not expect this to work, but okay, I'll take it.
He shows it to you at the very least, and you.
Did it actually
yes.
say what he said it says?
He has a writ with the Countess Elect of Nullen to acquire for her a set amount of the item known as Weirdstone for her court wizard, and it has the wizard's seal on it, as along with the Countess Elect's seal. I don't know if you would know her seal.
I don't think I would recognize the individual seals because
But
that's
her
probably
signature,
more under heraldry.
Her signature is on it, but it's just the seals. The wizard's one isn't filled out. He just has his seal from the College of Magic.
Okay. I
And
probably can't tell which order, so I'm not even gonna ask.
he takes a magnifying glass out of his desk and holds it up against the jar and peers out and, oh, there's tiny little mouths on his tongue.
Yes.
What manner
And
of...
it was about a meter long?
About a foot long.
Foot long, sorry.
That's still horrifically long for a tongue.
Yeah. That's that'd be
30
the guy from
centimeters.
Kiss too.
Well, no, he didn't have access to it. It's in the secure hold.
With the 2 other boxes.
And how the bloody hell do you know about this?
I can show you if you like. He made a tunnel.
Carlos just get to start looking around for some wine because this is too much to take sober.
Humperdinck sees you like looking around for a drink and pours himself a drink and like drinks it like a shot of something and drinks it down and. But I don't But yes, show me. Well, all of you, you might as well see. I took precautions. I paid good money for a secure box and.
Oh. Where's his corpse?
On deck.
Can someone see if he has a key? While I show Humperdinck where this tunnel is.
Well, you go on deck, and you bring up the key, and Humperdinck, I am the only one with the key, and he pulls a chain. He has a couple of chains around his neck, but he pulls a pretty, just a normal steel chain. It's not silver or gold or anything fancy, and he pulls it out, and you can see that there is a very fancy key on the end of it.
Check him for a key anyway. There was a locked cupboard in his kitchen, but your chest was wide open.
So I will
not wide open, but unlocked.
I will give the people who did a perception check on his corpse. If you rustled through his person, you would have found a key. He does have a key on him, but it's not the same as Humperdinck's. Well, yes, of course he. Well, the spices must be kept safe. I can't have any peasant just going in there and helping themselves to my valuable sugars and rare herbs and spices.
Well, apparently your cook thought to add some other spices.
I don't. Well, actually, the captain would probably, no, well, later on he'll bring something up. So you grab the key and you go into the galley.
I have an OOC question.
Sure.
Did we ever tell Humperdinck that the cook was being pissy prior to us departing?
No. And Alex didn't tell him either, because Humperdinck was with Gale and couldn't be fucked to see some hireling who.
I couldn't exactly remember.
So no one informed him. Well, no, he actually, sorry, he was informed by the captain when you all got
But that
on
was
the
when
ship.
we were already departing.
Yes. So it was a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
So Humperdinck goes to the galley, and with the key that you guys find, you open the spice cabinet. Once opening the spice cabinet, Humperdinck says, "Look, it's just my spices."
That doesn't sound like spices.
As you all kind of squeeze into this tiny galley, you know, you're fucking crammed in. You can see that in the spice cupboard, there are many spices there, but there is a small jar with a very small amount of green powder in it. And as Humperdinck kind of looks around in shock, and Casper, you know, kicks the or points down to the hole, and he goes on his haunches and looks through, and I didn't think it would. I was.
There is something else, but I hope to whisper it to you if you don't mind.
Sure. He will like step out of the galley and go to a corner.
So wait till I'm out of earshot or just in a corner or something, and just simply whisper that the mouths were speaking.
Okay.
And they said a name. Slanesh. Does that mean anything?
Okay.
Hello.
So.
I'm back.
Hey, Albie.
Hey, Albie.
Do you mind giving a quick recap, or?
Yep. Sure. I'll do that. I'll do that in 1 second. So when you say that to him, he visibly like cringes, and you too feel that skin quivering sensation. Now, I believe I gave you insanity the last time you went up against them. Technically, I'm willpower test. You've just said one of the names of the Chaos Gods. You would have to take a.
Recognize the name because
No, this was whispered.
Chaos...
No, this was
Oh,
whispered. Yeah,
okay.
Casper took Humperdinck to one side to whisper it to him.
Because I remember that in fantasy, the knowledge of Chaos Gods is a bit more prevalent than in the 40k.
It is, but it's not
They would go by
freely.
different names, wouldn't they?
So you have the aspects of the four. The aspects in Norska are pretty freely worshipped. So this is like the crow for Tzeentch, I believe, and the bear for Khorne.
Oh
Might be
no,
different.
I know there is a northern religion with a bear, but it's specifically different. And I know they have this like friendly rivalry going with the cult of Ulrich.
I know all the Chaos Gods have a good, quote unquote, variant for up in Norska. The Chaos as an
is
enemy.
Essentially a fucking Chaos land.
It is and it isn't, because they do fight against Chaos, but they do breed into Chaos. So it's. But as for general knowledge of the four specifically is something that's not is suppressed. You might know gods of different aspects and gods of, but it's specifically saying their name is like saying fuck, what's it? Whose name do you say in the mirror?
Blood Mary.
Yeah, things like it. It's not something you're meant to do, and just saying the name will get their ire to be my only happens once. So you succeeded anyway. Oh no.
No. Any bonuses or negatives?
No, just flat. So you don't. You steal
Nothing
your
is
mind.
with you this day.
You steal your mind, and you're okay. Humperdinck actually has to do it as well. So whilst I do Humperdinck's role, since you left, Albie, we have had Casper move everyone out of the poison gas. Casper then went down to get the cook. The cook had been tainted by warpstone, and his tongue had grown to a foot long and had grown 1,000 tiny little mouths with 1,000 screaming little tongues on it that cried out for Slanesh. Casper then put him to sleep and caved his skull in with his stick. Chopping the evil tongue off and putting it in a jar, he brought the two corpses up on deck and then went back down to check that everything was safe. He followed a trail that led him to a secure stash of Humperdinck's deep within the cargo hold. In that cache, he found 3 chests. 2 were of gold and silver and amazingly crafted. The third one was amazingly crafted, but it was a dull, very heavy metal. When he opened the chest, there was an absolute brilliant shine within the winds of magic, of pure magical energy being unleashed, which is what Livia and Casper both saw. After that, Casper returned and began telling everyone what happened in Humperdinck's personal office. Your effect of feeling like ecstasy ended about 20 minutes ago. You're now feeling fine. You know what happened. You feel as if you were drugged, but there's no ill effects. You're now like just going, why did that feel good? What the fuck? But apart from that, no ill effects. Then we have just had Casper explain what has happened, where Humperdinck opened up the spice cupboard and found a very small jar of green glowing powder, which is the warpstone dust that he had in his secure cache, or he thought it was secure. And that's where we are now.
All right.
And I just whispered one of the 4 chaos gods into Humperdinck's ear.
So
Maybe driving him insane.
Humperdinck, as I said, has a quiver go down his spine, and he gains 1 insanity point.
Sorry, Humperdinck. Oh my god.
Great going, Casper. Our boss is gonna go insane because of you.
Hang on, why?
I'm joking.
It's IP. I just put in 1 and it went to -1. That's very odd.
It's weird, yeah.
That's very odd. It counts backwards. Fine. Okay, I will accept this. So
What too?
How did his pendant not go off around the...
it's not chaos. Warpstone is not chaos. It's just pure magical energy. Yes, it does have a tendency to mean that like Tzeentch's curse is trebled and quadrupled, but it's technically still just pure magical energy. It's neither good nor bad. But
Sorry for me asking, but just random
No, that's
thought.
fine. No, that's fine. And that's why his pendant didn't go off, because it's not one of the 4. So Humperdinck is visibly like quivers and the blood drains from his face a little, but I have no knowledge of I have not delved into the evil that comes from such things. My family has fought against it, yes, but I am not a learned man for that type of knowledge.
I'd go. Are we in his cabin?
You're not in the cabin at the moment. You've been taken on a little tour of what Casper's found. So currently everyone's kind of in the kitchen, squeezed in, trying to have a look at, the tunnel that leads into the secure hold and the small glowing. Casper has pulled Humperdinck away to one side, so this is all being whispered between Humperdinck and Casper.
So I wouldn't hear it.
You didn't hear the Slanesh, you didn't hear that Malleus has been fighting against.
I'm specifically asking about, did I hear about that he's not learned in the matters of chaos?
Yeah, you didn't hear any of that.
Alright.
But I will not doubt what you said, but we will, I will, so close though. I will, don't have a bloody cook now. Right. One of you, and he gestures to, this is not, sorry, let me correct myself. He steps away and addressing the whole group, not just Casper. Well, we're so close. I must make this delivery. I cannot fail in this. So one of you will have to be our cook until we can get to Nullen. And you'll have to guard the cargo hold and of course the kitchen. Until we get to Nullen. He looks into the kitchen at the spice rack and the spice cupboard, and I
gathered all the spices in
if you try to grab the spices, he will tell you, don't you touch them. That is
not to liquidate them either.
They're worth more than our contracts.
Yeah, spices in this day and age are worth more than all of your lives put together. In his spice cupboard, you're probably looking at about 200-300 gold worth of different spices.
Interesting.
There's just the one thing in there that really shouldn't be in there. So he kind of squeezes his way through and picks up a pot and gets a spoon and just gently pushes the glass jar so that it very gently just hits the metal rim, like he's slid it in, and very carefully lifts it up. And I suppose I will have to hold on to this for now, placing it like down on the floor in between his legs for a moment. We'll lock the spice cupboard for now. You two, he gestures at Casper and Livia. Check the kitchen. Make sure there's nothing wrong here. And I see what we can salvage. We're not far from Nullen, but I would rather not go without eating anything. I mean, if the fruits are edible, we'll live off them for now. Or if the dried meat is acceptable, then
Is there anything like a skill?
Yes, there is actually a cooking skill.
No.
It would be a trade, though, right?
Yeah, and as far as I'm aware, none of you have it.
Damn.
If only.
I don't have it.
Our last campaign, our halfling had cook, and he bought it once as well, so he had 2 in cooking.
Shit, cooking's a trade skill.
Certainly
Ain't it?
is. It certainly is.
Shit.
So Humperdinck, whilst this is going on, like puts a cloth over the pot that he's got the jar in. And I have to make a retcon because I completely forgot, because the spice cupboard is not lead lined. So the many weeks ago when you fought the Chaos Carnival, you saw a flash. There was a glimpse of raw magic. That was the spice cupboard. When you did your magic ascents earlier to look for the spells, I should have mentioned that there's another source of that. So that was my bad, Livia. One too many things going on at once. You would have seen in the spice cupboard, there's that same With the spice cupboard though, it would have been duller, and you don't know why. You're not entirely sure why. It almost looked like as if a spell had happened in the kitchen, but recently. So that was my bad. But it was covered. Oh, I can give you this. It was covered by one of the Dark Four. They clearly wanted some fuckery to go on. But yeah, I was meant to say that there was a spell effect in the kitchen.
Alright. No worries.
So do we do a magical sense or something?
Yeah.
To make sure there's no...
Yeah, if you two give me...
Say bird hit.
essentially, you can do this over time. So if you had failed, you could roll again. But you both succeeded, so you look round the kitchen. I'll actually say that you spend half an hour doing this to do it properly. Just constantly using your ability to see. There are areas in here that you're just... with a real... it just looks as if like this is where he was sprinkling it in to the you know, on the cook stove. You can just see that there's tiny little traces of just, it's almost like crackling like gunpowder going off, just these tiny little expenditures, little pops and crackles of the warpstone dust, but it's been expended. Once it goes off, it is no more. You're not really sure how to clean that though.
Yeah.
The
Only
food,
here's a mop.
the food does look okay. It particularly looks around the oven, around like where he was adding in the spices. That's where the contamination is.
Okay. So we need to throw his body overboard and the oven overboard.
And everything else overboard.
Do you say that to the group?
No, I'm just saying that joking. Yeah, but yeah, I would point out that the cook, or not the cook, the oven does seem
Tainted.
yeah. Nice way of putting it.
The group would have listened to Blackhand proposing to burn the body.
On a wooden ship.
I mean, we can always use the boat to dock. Or go on land.
Yeah.
How close are we to not?
You were about 2 days sail.
How long have we been going? 2 days already, isn't it?
You left on the 30th, and it's now the 1st. So yeah, it's been 2 days because there's that weird extra day, the spring equinox, which was last night.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna need blood when we arrive then.
I think we should hold on to the cook and, you know, get rid of him in Nolan and hand him over.
How far would it be to...
2 days.
I think if we hand him over to the witch hunters or anything like that, we're all gonna get a taste of flintlock.
I will give you that he did tell you that he has a writ with the court wizard, so he might want the corpse.
Yeah, but witch hunters though.
Yeah,
Especially
witch hunters
if we
aren't gonna do
meet
shit.
the more zealous elements, which is a very likely fucking possibility.
So, as you're discussing this, Humperdinck is on deck. He is checking with the captain. I imagine you were in the galley. You've been moving some stuff around. You've checked at the oven. You can place yourselves wherever you like. If you want to talk privately, you can stay in Humperdinck's cabin. I would probably say the mercenaries would be over there.
So, I wish to have a chat with Humperdinck.
I would like to read the Chaos book some more.
Do you want heresy? Because that's how we get heresy.
I mean,
I'm
wait.
gonna stay in the kitchen.
I mean,
Yeah, Lydia's gonna stay around.
the hunting book.
Hey, Lydia,
It was a
You
hunting
can
book,
read.
right?
You can read the book. It's more about cults than about the 4 dark gods. It hints upon greater powers controlling the masses. Casper and Livia are checking the kitchen some more. If you want to speak to Humperdinck, he is on deck. By all means, you can. If you go up on deck or if you come out. In fact, most of you would hear that there's a conversation going on. You can roll me perception. You need at least 3 degrees for Livia and Casper because you're so far away. Everyone else, because you're underneath, you just need to get a degree to overhear some of it. So, some of my previous roles. So, Derwin was listening in to the conversations that were going on downstairs.
Shit.
Unfortunately, he was not able to sneak properly to be able to... He heard creaks and he heard... But with Humperdinck talking... Hello?
Hello.
Hey, Jazina.
Okay, it works. Sorry,
Hello.
my laptop is having an aneurysm.
With everything that was going on, no one really noticed. He only failed by a very small amount. And with the background sounds of the ocean and work going on around...
We're still in the river!
Well, it's still water lapping up against the side of the boat. I did say ocean though, but yeah. You can overhear some talk. Now I know what's been going on, Humperdinck. These strange things don't just happen. I know what y'all been doing, and I know that you're a crook. I don't have a clue what you're on about, Derwin, and I would suggest that you keep your overly large nose out of my business. Now, Humperdinck, I'm a good sort, so I won't ask too much. Not too much, but you know how things are and how we like to be. Derwin, you're a snake, and it will end you one of these days. You realize that? Oh, and I realize you don't hear the next words that he says for any of you who passed. Very well, Derwin. Very well. I will see to it that you are compensated for your rough journey. I think about half should do it. Very well, Derwin. I will write up the contract. Would you come with me? Yeah, I'll happily be there for this contract of yours. Excellent. You all hear a shot go off, and a loud thud.
Oh.
Oh.
Uh,
Run towards where the shot
Who
came
shot
from.
it?
Aurelia will not carefully, she will calmly move towards. Did he shoot Derwin above? Right here?
Yep.
Or?
No, he shot him above, but he fell down.
Oh, no, yeah, I mean, but it's
I
upper deck. I
ran
mean.
to the shot.
Yeah, probably
Do we
run
have
up.
porters?
As you come running up, I mean, there was a shot of a pistol. You can see Humperdinck blowing the smoke away from the end of his pistol and placing it into his overcoat. I
Really will.
did say it would end you one of these days, Derwin.
Ah, good. The snake is dead. And I go back to maintaining the ship.
Was that wise?
Real quick, Jazina, can you hear anything?
Aurelia will look.
He doesn't.
Ah.
I am sorry, what just happened?
Ah, there you are.
Humperdinck executed
I
the
saw
snake.
Derwin got a red egg, then Black Hand jumped out of him, and then there was blood.
And
So
that
You know-
is how dwarves are born.
Derwin was
we
trying
found out
to.
Black Hand is a necromorph, baby.
Derwin was trying to
Like, I got
blackmail.
that Derwin was trying to fleece some more money out of Humperdinck. That much I got.
So when Derwin turned around to walk into the cabin to fill out this this contract, Humperdinck took out his pistol and shot him in the head.
Oh. I imagine I would run up the deck as I heard shots.
Sure, yeah, you all heard this boom, and it's a black powder, so there is a big old boom. When you get on deck and you see, you know, Humperdinck just putting his pistol back in, he looks down and he looks kind of apologetic. Everyone's turning round and seeing what's going on, and they see Humperdinck, they see the noble on the floor, and they just turn around back to their business. Yes, Captain, get rid of his body for me, would you? Actually, I want his body brought into my cabin quickly. I wish to check him for documents. Yes. He gestures to all of you to take the corpse into his cabin.
Really would-
I dragged the corpse and
Walked
shown
up
to
to
sit.
him. He's still probably holding a pistol, and I'm like, "Is this a bad time to renegotiate the contract?"
No, go ahead. Don't you see how Derwin was successful, Carla? Aurelia
Well,
says
he's
like
about to reload, so you're safe now.
Aurelia will grab the collar and she will drag him down.
Oh,
You know I had to.
He kind of... Now's probably not a good time, but...
Fair. Well, it's fine. Then I can. There's time. There's time.
The body gets dragged into his office, and he looks at you all, and I will not have my estate blackmailed. That seems to be the matter of fact.
So
This is disgusting, but Casper, he like looks through everyone and sees that you're there, and I don't know if you can make any use of him, but I suppose it saves you. If you not, just chuck him overboard. But
Why did Casper would make use of? Shouldn't we bury him? Or he comes back as a zombie or something?
I'm gonna.
Aurelia is going to look at the body and look at him. Should we say he got drunk and fell off the boat, or that he got drunk, scared by an explosion, and shot himself in suicide?
Right. I'm gonna be up on deck. Nope's out of there.
You could have just asked me to shoot him with an arrow too. Humperdinck, I did not like this man one bit.
so Black Hand, you find 5, 6, 7, 8. You find 18 gold coins on his person. You find a
Nice.
mastercrafted knife, but that's about it. A few documents and papers, and but as you flick through them, they seem to be like minor trade deals and IOUs and nothing really of value to someone who, you know, the IOUs are specifically for him to someone else. You can't just hand that to them and ask for you know, the money that he owes. It's not how it works.
Aurelia is going to look for signet rings or anything that could help identify the body.
How much does a mastercrafted dagger go for?
10 gold. You buy it for 10 gold, so 5 gold.
I'm
Humperdinck
going
leaves
to
you all to...
request that everyone leave while I attempt this. If I'm going to go insane, I don't want anyone else going insane with me.
How much would I get for his clothes?
You can wait until I'm finished until you strip him.
So
I don't want this any weirder than it already is.
I
He
think
is wearing
Blackhand is
white
still under the
clothes.
influence of sex sports.
he is
Also,
wearing
I'm-
white
I'm
clothes
pretty
covered
sure-
in blood. You could wash the stains off, sure. It would cost you an awful lot of money in the Dark Ages to wash white, to get red off of white. You
Fair
could.
enough.
Just cover them in more blood. It will be cheaper and easier.
I'll be the
Now, red suit.
greedy salesman.
Forgive me, sir, but I do not believe anyone is that good. But does he have any signet rings or any identification jewelry?
He does have a ring which is it'd probably be silver with gold inlay, and it is of his trading group. He doesn't have a. He does seem to be of a much smaller mining merchant class. He's not a lord like Humperdinck.
So he has no family crest?
No,
or
he doesn't have the
anything
family
like
crest like Humperdinck does, but he does have a merchant's crest, so that he is part of a merchant's company.
that? I will take away all identifications from his body.
Sure.
Ring and crest and anything.
The ring is worth 5 gold, but at the same time, it's if you sell it to someone, you've clearly killed a merchant to get it, unless you can somehow swindle that you are the merchant who's selling it.
It's more sell under the table rather than over the table.
Yeah.
It's not only that. I was more thinking ahead, like, okay, so if he fell off out of the U-boat drunk, crashed his head into a rock, and people find him, people might ask Humperdinck what happened. And if they see that he has a massive, hole through his head, that someone shot him, they raise questions.
Yeah.
Probably best for him to just disappear.
Fortunately, medieval society, you're going up against a lord. If you're a peasant, then good luck. It's just that's how it was back then. So you can strip his rings
No,
off, so there's no.
What's gonna happen is the peasants
thing
will
is-
find the body and will go, "Ooh, he's got nice shoes." That's
Nice
more.
goose.
Yeah.
I don't think Blackhand's gonna leave him with his boots.
No.
But
I
No.
know. Are his
not only
boots blood free?
not only that's the problem, but if he's part of a merchant guild, the guild might raise problems financially for Humperdinck. But still, making him just disappear is probably a better idea.
Just mangle his face and mangle his fingers and shit.
Also, I
Which
do have
boots
to
are you
ask.
wearing?
Also have to ask out of character. Who knows about Casper's secret other than Aurelia and Livia?
The group, except for Magness and Carla.
Carla doesn't.
The crew don't.
Okay. Oh no.
So yeah,
Yes,
I'm going to ask again that people leave.
Aurelia's gonna look at Casper. If you need any help, just shout. I will try to do something. Otherwise, I'll then guard outside, I guess.
Okay,
Oh.
Albie, he has riding boots worth 3 gold. You are taking dead man's boots, but sure, everyone can see it.
Oh.
And
I
I'll
need one
probably
gold, 10 extra.
give you that he is wearing. I'll just give him an outfit which is worth 6 gold. It is covered in blood. I don't know how happy the
don't
group would be.
I don't take the bloody parts.
Okay, so just the riding boots. Fair enough.
I mean, I do have some standards. The customer
Do ya?
needs to be happy.
You're not really showing me right now, bud.
Yeah.
So after Albie strips the boots from the dead merchant, he makes his way up, and everyone kind of leaves Casper to have his fun with what remains. Carla,
Don't say it like that.
do you have any questions about What's going on? Or are you just like, this has been a long ass morning, I'm gonna go and get breakfast?
This has been a very long morning. I'm just gonna eat some. At this point, I don't want to know.
You know, there is the worst part is that you upgraded from baby goat to deer to not dead body.
Yeah.
So Casper, how would you do this? Would you just get a glass and your knife again, or would you, no one can watch, just bite into his neck? Like, you're not starving, so I will give, it's up to you. If you can't decide, you can roll willpower to see which you do. If you were starving, I would make you roll willpower with negatives to just, bite into him and drink. But you're not. You could eat. Sure. You could technically mix a bit of wine in with it, because you are in Humperdinck's quarters on your own.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah. I'll probably poke my head out the door and ask for a glass, because I don't want to dirty any Humperdinck's.
Okay.
You're not so savage, did you?
Asking the group, not the crew.
Someone brings you your flagon out of your mixing words together from your belongings, and it gets brought over to you.
Okay, I grab it and close the door and. Okay. Yeah, I suppose because he was shot in the head. I'll go for one of the wrists. Just
sure.
There and into the cup.
Shot to the head.
Would you be tempted to mix anything with it, or would you just have your blood, drink it, and?
Not the first cup.
Okay. So you drink your first cup down, and this feels nourishing. This is like filling you up. You're feeling very satisfied with this. If you drain him dry, unfortunately you won't gain the bonuses, because his life force had already left him. If that makes sense. You haven't drained it from him. Humperdinck shot him, and that got rid of that pretty quick. So you can drink until you're full. And you'll basically reset your hunger gauge.
Okay.
If you are tempted as you're drinking and you see a bottle of alcohol, just I wonder what.
Yeah, probably after like the second, third cup, I'll just go a little bit.
Okay.
That's how it starts. First is gonna be blood mixed with alcohol. Then it's gonna be warp snuff, and all kinds of weird shit is gonna happen.
You mix. You mix
blood.
The blood and the some wine together, and you swill it around, smell it, and drink it. It tastes beautiful to you. +1 insanity. That's nuts.
Son of a. When do I start getting effects from insanity?
At 10 points, you roll. If you fail on a willpower test, you gain something bad happen. Well, no, you gain like a minor malady. Like in 40k, it's like you get a minor one. If you succeed, you just succeed. But and I will keep with how it says in the book now, because I reread it and it made more sense. You actually reset. So once you hit 10, you roll. Nothing bad happens. You reset. You go back to 0. And then you go back up all the way through. That's how it sounded to me. I will read through it again. It might only reset if you actually suffer a malady. But once you get to level 10 insanity, you are always level 10 insanity. It just resets. So,
just make it 20 more points and then.
Then you roll again. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. I'm 7 off that first one.
But you drink and it tastes nice. It tastes good. You won't get the bonuses, your stats, but
Yeah.
you're quite happy. You feel as if you can carry on another few days before needing to look for more food.
Okay.
I will give you that after, if you want, you can give Humperdinck like 10 silver, and you can take half the bottle of wine that's on the table. It's not a particularly rare brand. It's not particularly expensive. You've seen that type of wine in taverns before, and you could try filling it up, topping it up with what remains, just to see, maybe it'll keep for longer. Maybe it will, just.
Yeah. I mean,
It'll
that
preserve
makes sense.
the blood.
Yeah, a little wine. Yeah,
Sure.
sure. Why not? I'll slip Humperdinck some silver
Yep.
shillings.
Mark off 10 silver. Add on your character sheet blood wine.
You can already see the vampire parties with fart dust, blood wine, blackjack and hookers.
Warp snuff on tits.
Oh.
By the time you're finished, you've already had like 10 mutations, and it's just got that chaos spawn snuffing up the rest.
No, you just got a Vargulf in the background, just having some fun.
Oh.
There's a bloodthirster just sitting on the ceiling. Man, look at my hands.
So,
Oh god.
as the day continues, Casper is sated now. The corpse can be chucked overboard, along with all the others. Humperdinck is quite. He's like, no, yeah, just chuck him overboard. Let's not fuck around with this. They are gone. Ooh, can I click on you? Yeah, into the sea. Off you go. Bye bye. You're all gone
Yeah,
now.
flippers are common enough.
As we carry on. Is there anything else that the players would like to do? If not, we will push forwards with your journey.
With everything pressing done, while Casper feeds, Livia would go to each of the crew members, just ask them how they're feeling, if they're doing well.
Okay. So as you go around, the mercenaries are confused. They don't really know what's going on, but they don't really want to know. Like, when any type of explanation, especially if magic is brought up, they're straight away like, yeah, no. It's just above our pay grade. The three who were really going at it are just in shock, just embarrassed, just not. They don't know what happened, what's going on. In fact, I will roll 3 D100s. They all fail, so they all get at least 1 insanity point. Oh,
Every time one of the mercenaries goes past him, he goes like, hey.
But all together, like so Noel and Sam, they seem to be fine. Again, in shock and not entirely like they don't know what's going on. No
Yeah,
one
Livia
knows.
would be very kind to Nolly, because
Yep.
that's the pathetic one for a Mayfly.
Yes, that's the one you spoke to last time. Sure. So you spend some time just like reassuring them that like danger's over, but not really going into too much detail. Or if they do pry, you say that it's something possibly magical, but you don't know how it's come about. Because I'm pretty sure you don't want to run around telling everyone, hey, yeah, Humperdinck and warp dust. It's fine.
No, that would probably be a bad idea.
So everyone, like, their nerves are on edge, but they come to terms with it, and they kind of understand that this is just like a freak accident. everyone's kind of like, but did you see Humperdinck just shoot that merchant? Yeah, that was kind of odd. But you get that's just talk between the crew, and they all kind of know not to talk about it when they're not around the crew. But as the day goes on and rations are brought out, there are some dried rations on ship, and Livia and Casper have kind of pointed out, no, the oven, maybe let's just burn that or chuck it overboard. The food should be okay, and after a quick whip round, no one on board cooks. The best they can do is heat up some bread. The bread that they already have. Like, they can make toast. They can warm up the dried meat, and that's about it.
Well, some good news is I have a use for those that 1 week's dried rations I got from the starting town.
Yeah.
Hey.
Same. No offense, but I'm not touching the food from this boat for a while.
No, I'm just handing this out to other people because I don't really need it.
Yeah, I think we still have elven rations.
We should.
I'm pretty sure you do.
Aurelia would stretch those out as far as she possibly could.
We come back over to the map. The day passes and nothing else odd happens. You travel for the entire of that day. The ship, fortunately, didn't get damaged to the hull itself. Although the sides, and there is a big old hole in it. Just to let you know, if he had rolled above 50, he would have exploded, and there would have been a hole in the bottom of the ship, and that would have been the calamity of the session.
Oh.
Okay then.
Instead, you got a sex fest. So Nuffle had his choice.
You see, there's lemons and oranges.
You all have cold rations. It's not enjoyable, but it's only one more day to go. And another square. Before long, Nullen comes in to view. It is the third when you get to Nullen. As you reach the outskirts and you're coming towards Nullen, is a fantastic city. It is large, with big walls going all round the sides. You know Nullen is coming close because halfway through the day you can hear the booming sounds of cannon fire. As you get closer, you can hear the array of small arms fires being tested. It is a noisy, smelly, dirty city, but it is a major city, and it is the city of gunpowder and engineers. Oh no, I didn't bring the map over. Damn it. As you make your way in along the river, where's Nullen? Hang on, I've lost Nullen. Oh no, there it is. Sorry, it's black and white and everything else is in colour. We come to the city of Nullen. You come up through the Upper Reich. As you make your way along the river. For the elves, I would like you to go onto your character sheets and under perception, modifier, -20. You will lose this once you leave Nullen. Nullen stinks. As you come into the Upper Reich and into the walls of Nullen, the stacks from small workshops and engineering halls, and the smell of sulphur in the air, gunpowder, soot and smoke. It burns your eyes for the elves as you come into this smoggy, dirty city. The sounds are overwhelming to your sight, to your hearing. The smog and dust and soot makes your eyes water. We've had hearing, we've had sight, and the smell of thousands, tens of thousands of humans living together, working. It stinks. For the humans, you are home. This is a big human city where you can enjoy the finer things in life. You come up through the Upper Reich, and you come past the Iron Tower, a large, magnificently, well, once magnificently built stone tower that reaches up. Once magnificent. Now it is not quite so. And as you become adjusted to the grandeur of this city, you notice that there are many things here that were once oh so magnificent, yet have fallen into slight decay and neglect. You make your way along the river, underneath the great bridge that connects North Nullen to South Nullen, the major crossing bridge, the major highway and life vein. You see hundreds of people making their way along. The sounds are unbelievable. People shouting about daily news and local events, traders selling their wares, halflings selling street pies and other meaty goods of suspicious origin. You come up to the docks. Although your ship was, for some of you, quite large and quite magnificent, it is dwarfed by the magnificent vessel that is berthed next to your ship. As you come in, you see a giant vessel made up, still being worked on, and you would all notice Humperdinck's eyes are fixed to it. But one member of our party is transfixed by another vessel coming from the River Reich. Down from the north, heading down south, is, and I need to grab my handout. I can't remember what it's called. No. Where did I put that handout? Oh no. Hang on. City of Nullen. Oh, I had this all planned out so well. Not that one. God damn it. Okay, I can't remember the name of the ship. So, Magness. As everyone else is looking around at the splendour of Nullen, from the Upper Reich up north, you see a vessel. A steam-paddled river steamer. This is 4 levels high. This is like a Western Mississippi down the bayou casino boat, and I shit you not, this is canon. You see this magnificent vessel making its way down river, and you feel a calling, Magness. Whereas everyone else is absorbed with the city of Nullen, for you, Magness, it is this vessel that calls you. But it is not in dock yet. It is making its way into Nullen. I can't find my music either. I had a town.
Best laid plans.
It's because all my music... So, for those of you who don't know, Roll20 got rid of all of its music. So I had to quickly, before session, add in some of Roll20's music. It has some good sound effects, which I'll give to it. But now I don't know where anything is. I think it's Anytime? It might be Anytime.
I believe that's due to the website shutting down.
It's not Anytime. Never mind. I will find the music for next time. So you are all just looking around, and there's just sights and smells and scenes happening everywhere. There's the sound of explosions coming from the engineering college, or no, sorry, gunnery school.
Oh. I think Josina was away while you were doing that.
Sorry, I got cold.
Sorry, dude. I'll explain again.
It's fine. It's fine.
So, Magness, you see from the River Reich up north this Mississippi-style casino boat, which is a paddle steamer. It is in canon, and you're transfixed. This is your next calling in life.
Yes.
So as you all make your way, the paddle steamer is still making its way. It is slower than your ship, so you will dock first. Everyone can see that Humperdinck is just staring at this vessel. And everyone can probably tell that Magness is looking up at the paddle steamer. But as you come into dock, you would all notice that there is quite the crowd at the dock. Quite the crowd. And as you come into berth, you all look towards and look around, and there is an individual there, surrounded by bodyguards, in the most exquisite cloak you've ever seen. Its colours almost change with the difference of light as it hits and reflects, and he is a tall individual with short, cropped brown hair. He has electric gold eyes, a small goatee, and as the Humperdinck's vessel comes into dock, he raises his arm and waves towards Humperdinck. Humperdinck's gaze snaps to him, and you all just see the glittering gold arm twinkling in the light. And that is where we end our episode.
We made it!
Woo! We made it without any more explosions.
And somehow my character is still oblivious to the vampire thing.
Only for now.
I
Only
was
for
like,
now.
I got a gold arm.
So, I hope you've all enjoyed this episode, especially with new added audio. It's much better, I think. Much, much better. If you did enjoy this episode, come on over next Tuesday, where we'll be running a brand new Dark Heresy campaign. I will be GMing, and we will have most of the crew here. Some of our crew couldn't make it because they have too many games running. We all know that feeling. I genuinely hope you did enjoy this episode and are looking forward to the new series and next week's episode, when our players will finally get to see Nullen and learn of Humperdinck's grand plan. So take care, everyone, and as always, bye-bye for now.
Don't
Bye.
eat the
Bye.
Bloodstone. It's
See
bad
ya.
for digestion.